My name is Spencer, and this is Ken. We're at the SM Gilbert Traditional project. Today we're doing a pre-rock Superwalk, which is similar to the one that we just did. In this project, we have a little bit different focus, and Kenny can talk about the differences.
Yeah. So in this particular project, we've got a lot of ceiling details. So TNG, beams, all that. Something that Studio McGee, they're very fond of, and so we've got a lot of that going on here. And so what we're going to focus on today, we're going to focus on everything that we typically do on a pre-rock Superwalk, but something we're going to show you guys is how we're going to lay out these beams, how we're going to try to avoid any conflicts with our lighting placement, our HVAC placement, and making sure that everything flows together and looks nice at the end of the job.
Yeah, let's walk in here and we'll show you a little bit more about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And a lot of the reason we're doing it is because we do have multiple sets of drawings that we're looking at. We have a lighting plan, we have a structural lighting plan essentially, and then we have interior design drawings that have ceiling layouts, and so we have to coordinate all this. So our project coordinator, Megan, has done a lot of work with overlays, checking for these light layouts. There's been some adjustments in the beam layouts, and you can see on the floor some faint lines, but there's also some blue tape that's been laid out for the new lines. And so what we've done is just double checked and made some minor adjustments to the can light layout in this room, because the beams are now going to be centered on the dining room. That's kind of the main focal point of the room. And then, so what we've done, you can see in orange now, is we've marked on the floor what the center lines of our can lights are going to be in relation to the beams. So we've done that just using some simple math, which is actually an app on my calculator app on my phone, and laser, and just got everything laid out. So now that the millwork guys can come in and do the beam placement, electrician can come in and do the lighting, and then hopefully from there everything will be perfect when it's done.
Right now we are checking our lighting layouts in relation to our beam layouts. So in this particular space, the interior designer wants us to center up our beam layout on this breakfast nook. And so we've gone ahead and we've found our center point. We've moved over and found our first set of lights, and then using all of our dimensions that we have based on what this area needs to be, how these beam spacing needs to be, we're finding center lines of lights and marking those on the floor so that it's easy for our trades to come up, set up their laser, hit here, hit another point over at the other side of the room. You'll have a clean laser line, and you'll be able to line up all of your can lights, HVAC registers, and everything so that this layout comes out clean.
Just because a lot of times we have lighting layouts that come from the architect, but then we have lighting designers that also create a layout. And then we're also coordinating the interior designers layout for reflected ceiling plans and beams, tongue and groove ceilings, things like that. So we're just trying to do coordination of all those things so that when everybody does come in here, all of this stuff fits, because we don't want to be coming in here and putting the wood beams that go in here, install them, and then after that have to move can lights over half an inch or an inch to make sure that they're center line. So this is an overlay here. It's kind of messy because it can't filter it on the Bluebeam app, but there are beams here, and what it does show is that there's tongue and groove going the other direction. But the critical thing is, we're based on the layout, the actual layout, we're trying to make sure that the can lights and the ceiling fans are all centered between these 8-inch beams in this great room. Well, what you want to check is that, like what they've done is the layout is based off the center line of this dining room, but as you check the layout of the beams, like it's a little off of the entryway. So we're just trying to make sure that everything aligns down center lines of rooms as it's supposed to. Or
so, because as you enter the front, right? As you enter the front, you don't want the beams to be off on the front door.
Well, that's kind of the dance we're doing right now, is we have a kind of a more of a focal point of the dining room versus the entryway right here. And so what we're seeing right now is that they've decided to center the beams off of this dining room because it's a bigger space, more of a focal point, and it is going to be slightly off of the entry doorway. But the entry doorway area itself, it has a light that'll be centered in there, but the main beams are going to be spaced throughout the great room just for kind of the layout looking in the north direction.
Now it's real easy for them to drop a laser on the floor, check to make sure they're centered, make the micro adjustments they need. And that's just one of the things that we try to do to keep it all running together smoothly at the end of the project and make our trades' lives easier and then ours easier as well. No more headaches. Thanks, guys.